This time, let us have solving quadratic equation by extracting square roots. Now, what do you mean by solving quadratic equation? So when you talk about solving quadratic equation, is simply finding the values of the variable that will make the quadratic equation true. Or it is finding the zeros of a quadratic equation. Or finding the roots of the quadratic equation. For example, what must be the values or value of x to make the equation true? So if we have x squared is equal to 100, what must be the value of x? If you are going to get the square, it is equal to 100. Yes, x is equal to 10 because if you are going to get the square of 10, that is equal to 100. Then aside from 10, x can also be negative 10 because squaring a negative 10, that becomes positive 100. So therefore, the values of x are 10 and negative 10. That makes the equation x squared is equal to 100 true. So, or 10 and negative 10 are the roots of the equation x squared is equal to 100. Now, how to solve quadratic equation by extracting square roots? So, this is used when the quadratic equation is in the form of ax squared plus and minus c is equal to 0 or ax squared is equal to k. So you've noticed that it has only quadratic term and a constant term where b is equal to 0. So in short, if b is missing, then use extracting square roots. For example, if we have x squared minus 81, so we have only a quadratic term and a constant. So this can be solved using extracting square roots or property of square roots. X squared is equal to 36, still quadratic term and a constant. Same also with number 3, negative 64 plus x squared. It is a constant and a quadratic term. Now, identify which of the following quadratic equations can be solved using extracting square roots. Number 1, y squared minus 25 is equal to 0. So since b is missing, we have only a quadratic term and a constant, so that can be solved using extracting square roots or property of square roots. How about number 2? T squared plus 10 is equal to negative 70. Since this is already complete, we have here b, the linear term. So, therefore, that cannot be solved using property or extracting square roots. So, it is no. Third, m squared minus 10m plus 25. Still, we have here the linear term, negative 10m. So that cannot be solved using extracting square roots. How about number 4? Negative 16 plus p squared. So since we have only a constant in a quadratic term, so the linear term is missing. So this can be solved using extracting square roots. So that is yes. For number 5, k squared is equal to 64 minus 2k. So we have here a constant term 2k. So this is cannot be solved using extracting square root. The answer is no. For number 6, k squared is equal to 64k. So since 64k is a linear term, we have here the variable k. So this cannot be solved using extracting square roots. That is no. For 2x squared minus 10 is equal to 0, still you have here a quadratic term and a constant. So the linear term is missing. So this can be solved using extracting square roots. So the answer is yes. For number 8 is negative 2k squared is equal to negative 64. Still, k is missing or the b. So therefore, this can be solved using extracting square roots. So the answer is E. Yes. Okay, so I hope you learned something today about extracting square.
I never